Hey everyone, I'm Spencer from Chain Journey and I'm going to show you how to install Python and Django on Windows 10. So the first step is to install a code editor so that we can edit HTML and Python code commonly found in Django projects. So there are many code editors out there, but for this demo we will be downloading and installing Notepad++. So let's open our browser. So I'm going to go to the address bar here, and we need to type in notepad-plus-plus.org, and then hit enter. And this should take you to Notepad++'s website. So we need to go to the download page, and to download we need to hit the big green button here, or any of these other links if it works for you in particular. So what we need to do next is go ahead and run this. Now, since I've already got it downloaded, I will go ahead and run it and install it. Okay, and we want to let it have our permission to install Notepad++. Okay, and we will proceed. It's up to you if you want to create a shortcut on the desktop. I'll choose to do so. Okay, so you can go ahead and uncheck running Notepad for now and then hit finish. So now that we have Notepad++ installed, we can move on to step 2, which is downloading and installing Python. So let's go ahead and go back to our browser, and up at the top in the address bar, let's clear it out, and let's type in, this time, python.org. Alright, here's Python's homepage. So what we need to do is hover over downloads, and then you should have a download button here that you can click to download the installation file. So I also have this downloaded already as well, so I will go ahead and run that and install it. Alright, we're going to want to give it permission to run. Okay, so before moving on, we need to go ahead and say add Python to path. So we will go ahead and check that, and we can hit install now. Alright, so it looks like Python's finished installing. In order to make sure that it installed properly, let's open command prompt, and the way we're going to do that is let's go to the start menu and then type in cmd followed by enter. So once command prompt is open, what you'll want to do is type a certain command in. So this command is python, Python, space, dash, capital V. So this is specifically to check the version of Python. Now, if I hit enter and I have a message telling me the command wasn't recognized, then I would probably need to uninstall Python and try installing it again. However, if you see that it reports a version number, then that is proof that Python has installed successfully. So if I hit enter, I do indeed see 3.7.2, and that is the version I have installed. So now that we've verified that Python is properly installed, we want to now make a special Django projects folder. Now the name and the location of this folder is up to you, but for this demo, I'll make a folder on the desktop called My Django Stuff. So what I'm going to do here is I will do just that. So we'll go ahead and close Python out here, that installation window. And I'm going to right click on the desktop, go to new, and then make a new folder. And it's My Django Stuff. Okay. So now, what we need to do, after we make this folder, we're going to create a virtual environment within it. So for those of you wondering what a virtual environment is, it is a tool that helps keep different project dependencies separate by creating isolated Python virtual environments for them. In this tutorial, we will have just one for all of the projects on the folder. However, in the future, you may choose to have a virtual environment inside of each Django project to further separate dependencies. It's totally up to you. If you want to know more about virtual environments, you can go to the VENV documentation link that I have in the description. Anyways, let's continue by going back to CMD, changing our directory to the Django folder, and then typing in a command that will create the virtual environment. Alright, so here's our command prompt window here, so we are going to do just that. So let's change directories, so CD, and then in my case, I have the folder on my desktop. And there's a little trick to getting the path. In my case, if I open the Django Stuff folder and I click on the address bar here, look at that. All of a sudden I have the path to the folder. So that's probably the best bet, having this path. So I would just cut that or copy it, go to the command prompt window, and then after you type in CD and then a space, go ahead and paste it, and it should look something like this. Now, after I hit return or enter, you'll see here that it has changed directories into the one I wanted, which is my Django folder. So you'll want to go ahead and do that. So now that we've done that, we want to now type in the command to create the virtual environment. So we are now in the folder, so now let's type in Python space -m space VENV. This is the command for the virtual environment. And then after that, we put a space, and then we want to name the virtual environment something. In my case, I'm going to name it My VENV, but in the future, when you make your own virtual environments, you can choose a different name if you'd like. So I'll go ahead and do My VENV. Okay, so that should take just a second. Well, actually, it should take maybe 15 to 30 seconds, I'd say. So we'll wait for that. Okay, so now if we see this pop up, that means it's finished. So we should have our virtual environment, and if I look in the folder, here is My VENV. It's basically a little folder it creates. We won't go too far into what's actually in this folder, but just know that the fact that it was created is going to be helpful for us in the future. So now what we need to do is we need to go ahead and activate the virtual environment. So we've created it, but we haven't actually done anything else with it. So the command that we're going to need to run here, you'll want to stay in the directory, in my case, My Django Stuff, and then you'll want to type in My VENV, or whatever you named yours. In this case, it was My VENV, / capital S, CRIPTS, so scripts with a capital S, / activate.bat. And if I hit the return key, I should now see My VENV in parentheses, and I do, or whatever the name is. So basically, what's happened is we've activated it. And if at some point we need to turn it off, all you really need to do is type in deactivate and hit enter. and you can see that the my venv disappeared. So if you ever need to deactivate it, that's how you do it. But I'm going to go ahead and turn it back on by running that command, the activate command, and there we go. Okay, so we have venv set up, or our own virtual environment set up. So the next thing we need to do is go ahead and use pip to install Django. So for those of you wondering what pip is, it's basically a package management system used to install and manage software packages, especially written in Python. So Django happens to be one of those. So pip is installed with Python. I think versions 3.4 and above, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, so we should be able to just type in pip space install space and then Django, which is Django, and we hit enter. And now we should see a process going on where it downloads and installs Django. So we'll go ahead and let that run. Okay, so once we see this success message, we can check to see that Django is installed by typing a certain command. I always do this just to make sure. So let's type in python, so Python space -m space Django space dash dash, and then the word version. So if you hit enter, you should see that it will report 2.1.4 or whatever version it was installed. So if we see this come up, that's perfect. So now that we see the version number, we're really finished. So we should now have what we need to get started working with the Django framework. Yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching.